know, the first time you hear a title like, "The darker a woman's vagina is, the more," your mind instantly reacts. Maybe you feel a jolt, a bit of shock, maybe even discomfort. And that reaction, that instant tightness in your chest or that little voice in your head that says, "Wait, what did she just say?" That's exactly what I want to talk about. Because that moment of discomfort isn't about the words. It's about what we've been taught to believe. It's about the layers of shame and silence that have wrapped themselves around women's bodies for generations. It's about how we've learned to see our bodies through the eyes of other people instead of through our own. From the time we're little girls, the world starts whispering rules to us. Rules about how to look, how to act, how to speak, how to sit, how to smile. Rules about what kind of skin tone is beautiful, what kind of hair texture is acceptable, what kind of body shape is ideal. And yes, even what our most private, intimate parts should look like. You don't have to go far to see it. Open social media, flip through a magazine, look at ads, and you'll find a silent message pulsing underneath it all, that womanhood comes with a standard. That beauty has a checklist. That there's one right way to be. And so many women, without even realizing it, spend years, decades even, comparing themselves to a version of perfect that doesn't actually exist. Some lighten their skin, some filter every photo, some hide, some shrink, some apologize. And that's what I want to break today. Because the truth is this: the darker a woman's vagina is, the more she represents something deeper. She represents the story of resilience, the power of authenticity, the beauty of being real. The color, the texture, the shape, none of that defines your worth. What defines you is your courage to accept yourself without permission. When you finally stop letting the world dictate how you feel about your body, something extraordinary happens. You get your power back. You begin to see that the things you were taught to be ashamed of, your stretch marks, your scars, your curves, your color, those are the very things that make you unique. Those are the stories written on your skin, the proof that you've lived, that you've grown, that you've survived. And when you start owning that, when you stop apologizing for your existence, you don't just change how you feel about yourself, you change how everyone around you perceives you. Confidence is not born from perfection. It's born from acceptance. It's born the moment you look in the mirror and decide that you are done negotiating your worth with a world that profits off your insecurity. The darker a woman's vagina is, the more she should know that her worth is not up for debate. The more she should know that her beauty doesn't need to fit a mold, that her body is not a brand or a filter, that every inch of her is a testament to strength, to history, to life. We live in a culture that has sold women a lie, that to be loved, you must be small, soft, smooth, and silent. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if your power lies in the things they told you to hide? What if every so-called flaw is actually a feature? What if your confidence, your sexuality, your energy, your joy, what if all of that becomes unstoppable the moment you decide to stop editing yourself to make others comfortable? I've met so many women who have spent years disconnected from their own bodies, women who have been told they're too dark, too light, too much, not enough. And every single time one of them finally wakes up to the truth, that she doesn't need fixing, something incredible happens. She stands taller, her eyes light up, her voice deepens, she starts taking up space again. Because when a woman finally stops running from herself, she becomes magnetic. She becomes grounded. She becomes free. You are not here to be compared. You are not here to meet anyone else's standards. You are not a product. You are a person. Your body is your home. It has carried you through pain and joy, through heartbreak and healing. It deserves love, not criticism. It deserves gratitude, not judgment. And if you ever doubt your worth, I want you to remember this: the darker, the lighter, the smoother, the rougher, none of that changes the fact that you are enough. Always have been, always will be. So the next time you hear someone make a comment about what's beautiful or acceptable, I want you to remember that the only standard that matters is the one you set for yourself. Because the darker a woman's vagina is, the more she has a chance to stand up and say, "This is me. This is my body. This is my truth." And the more women who do that, the more we start rewriting the story. The story that says beauty has a color, a size, a shape, we tear that story down. And we replace it with something better. Something real. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to stand out. You are not meant to hide. You are meant to shine, exactly as you are. And the moment you stop asking for permission to love yourself, that's the moment your entire life begins to change. So the darker a woman's vagina is, the more she should know this: she doesn't owe the world an apology. She owes herself freedom. The darker a woman's vagina is, the more she carries history. Think about that for a second. That darkness is not just a color, it's a story. It's a lineage of strength, survival, and resilience that the world has tried to erase, to bleach, to silence. For centuries, women have been told to change themselves to fit someone else's ideal. Lighten your skin, flatten your curves, smooth your body, smile more, speak less, make yourself smaller. And somehow, somewhere along the line, many of us started listening. We started apologizing for the very things that make us who we are. But here's the truth: you are not supposed to apologize for yourself. Your body, your shade, your curves, your scars, they are not mistakes. They are proof of life, proof of survival, proof of strength. The darker a woman's vagina is, the more she reflects a lineage of women who survived impossible conditions, who carried children, who fought battles both seen and unseen, and who refused to disappear. And when a woman finally stops trying to fix what isn't broken, she becomes unstoppable. She begins to take up space unapologetically. She stops shrinking to make the world comfortable. She stops comparing herself to impossible standards. She owns her power, her sexuality, her beauty, exactly as it is. The darker she is, the bolder she becomes. The darker she is, the more she embodies self-acceptance, confidence, and freedom. Because the world doesn't need another woman who is polite, perfect, or small. The world needs women who are real. Women who refuse to dim their light, who refuse to compromise their truth. Women who finally understand that they are enough, exactly as they are. So yes, the darker a woman's vagina is, the more she carries history. The more she carries power. The more she carries the proof that being unapologetically herself is the most revolutionary act of all.